Money, thank you. Now, it's funny because this song is Greek. And to be honest, I don't understand what the guy says. But it's now one of the coolest songs in Greece. So, man, what a night last night. I mean, June killed it, right? To be honest, I couldn't sleep in the night knowing that this guy raised the bar so high last night. So let's give it up for June one more time. Now, let's say a big thanks to Georgiou because this morning they gave us what we need to have in order to beat Africa in this competition. So thank you, Sash. Wow. Now, been in this business for the last 7 years, starting from Cyprus, traveling almost 3 or 4 times a month from country to country, from city to city, building new teams, supporting the existing teams. I feel this is like a blessing. And to be honest, when I got started in Cyprus, I was smart enough to understand that there are limitations in Cyprus. We are an island that we have less than 1 million people population. So even if I wanted to build a huge team, it was kind of impossible to do it just in Cyprus. But I had no contacts. When I got started, I had no contacts outside of Cyprus. And I started developing this mindset of working local, but thinking global. So I was building in my country, I was building in my city, but I always wanted to expand the team outside of Cyprus. Now, I had no contacts. So what I had to do back then, I had to go through my people's list. I had to find out who knows who, in order to start building and expanding the team outside of Cyprus. Now, during the last 7 years, I realized that there are 2 ways to build a team abroad. And that's what's gonna be the next part. How you can expand your team and build a team abroad, outside of your city, outside of your country. So, there are 2 ways. Can I have the iPad, please? The one is BTG, and you see you don't have to have a nice red face in order to become an IMD. And the next one is GTB, which means build to go. Build to go. Build your team. Build the team from where you are and then go and create the team. GTB means go to build. Now, I love the part that Sachin explained yesterday about the social media, and I love the part that he spoken about the 80-20%. Okay? What I'm doing personally, I'm not building online, okay? But I'm using social media, I'm using Facebook, Instagram, and all those applications just to get the prospects. So I'm prospecting online, but then I'm going offline and building the teams. So you have 2 ways to start expanding the team, either from your contacts, or you can pitch people online through social media. Now, the first time we started expanding the team abroad was in Greece, in a little small island in Greece. So I had a guy in my team back then in 2012. He was my best friend actually, and he joined after I became senior rep. And this guy had few contacts in Greece. He had a contact actually in Rhodes Island, a really small island, and this guy was a singer. So I was always looking to find the contact outside. So I knew that Nikos had some contacts. So one day we called to this guy, and I will explain you guys how you build to go right now. How you can start building a little small team, then you can go and expand the team. So we called to the guy, and I start presenting the concept to him. Now the most important thing when you are about to present to somebody abroad is to draw the picture of what's possible to be happening in his country, in his place. You are aware of what's going on. You know that some cities, some countries are like a virgin market. There is nothing, but they have no idea. So you need to explain them what's going on. What I'm usually doing when I have people on the call with a new countries, I'm honest to them. I'm saying, man, I know that you are from this city. I know there is nothing right now there, so you can be the pioneer on this city. Now let me explain you what pioneer means. From my experience, I know that a country like this, the next year, the next 2 years, we can put 2,000 to 3,000 people in the system. Now in their mind, they don't know what that means. So you need to start drawing, creating the picture so it's gonna be visible to them. So I'm gonna say like this, I know that you don't know what 3,000 people means, but it means that someone can achieve the highest rank of our company, which is the average income per month is like $20,000, $30,000 a month. Now, some people, they will get to do this business full-time and have an extra income. You have to create the picture to them. And that's what I did with this guy. Now, this guy was focused on his career. He was singing professionally in Greece. He said, man, look, I'm not the guy that I'm gonna do this professionally, but I have lots of contacts. That's what I wanted to hear. When he said I have a lot of contacts, I said, boom, thank you. I want you just to bring people in front of the computer so I will present for you and I will close them. I don't want you to do anything else. Just bring the people in front of the computer. So I asked him to put in front of the computer his hot list. The people who love him, trust him, and believe him. That's the people who are gonna follow them anyway. The people that, if you ask them to borrow money, they will do it. And that's what he did. He just put in front of the computer within the next 7 days, 10 people. From those 10 people, we put it in the system like 5, and in a short period of time of 2 weeks with duplication, we created a team of approximately 15 people. Now, that was the time to go to build. So we created the small team, and then that was my time to fly into their city and start working with them. I went there, why? Because I wanted to find who's the leader, who's the person who's gonna lead this team. I wanted to go there to start teaching them skills, to start educating them, to start explaining them exactly what this industry is, what this company is. And that's what we did. We flew in their city, we sat down there, and we started meeting the people, and we were looking for the leader. Now, in your mind, it's good to be clear who you're looking for. When I'm flying to a new team, when I'm starting a new team, I'm looking for the person who has 3 criteria. Number 1, he's hungry. I can see that he wants more things in his life. He's the guy that when I'm presenting to him, he goes like, how fast can I get to IMD? How much money can I make in the first month? How much money I can do in the first 3 months? He's doing questions that are big questions. That's the guy that is hungry. I'm looking for the guy that is coachable. I mean, I'm meeting people every single day. I have people that the first thing they ask, so give me the tools. Where can I go to get more information? Teach me what to do. Those people are the people who are coachable, the people who are willing to go to the next training. Now, the third thing that I'm looking all the time when I'm about to create a new team, it's a person who's ethical. It happened many times to start a team with people that there wasn't so ethical, so we built the team, but when I'm not there and they building the team based on lies, they building the team based on unethical things, it's so easy to see the team go down again. So I'm looking for a person that is ethical. I'm looking for a person that treat other people the way they wanted to treat him. That's the people I'm looking. Hungry, coachable, and ethical. When I'm finding this person, then I start working directly to them. Now, when you go to the market, and the most important thing is to show them that you go there for a period of time. You don't need to show to people that it happened many times. You go to a new market, you stay there, nobody invites, nobody presents, and you're just sitting down. And they feel like, okay, they need me. To be honest, personally, whenever I go to a new market, I show to them that I'm not depending to them. I'm there to help them, but I'm not depending to them. Now, the second way to start building is to go to build. Mark said earlier that Smart people learn from their mistakes. Now, I'm gonna tell you a few mistakes that I have done over the years with going to build. Because to be honest, I have been so many times in so many cities to go to build. Now, I had one person, I was booking the flight, boom, go to the new city, and staying there and doing nothing. What I have learned over the years is that when you're having the call with this person, again, you do the same thing that I said before. You start creating the picture of what's possible to happen to this city. Now, before I book the tickets to go in a country or in a city, I'm just asking for 3 things for the person that I'm gonna work with. So I sign up, let's say, Panayotis in London, and I wanna go and work with him. I'm drawing the picture and then I'm asking him for the number 1 thing. I want you to make to me a list of 20 people. I want you to write down 20 people that if I fly in your city, we will present to them together. So he makes the list. Number 2, I want him to do something so he can feel more committed. So he will get more committed to the process. I'm asking him to book the next big event. Because if he takes out of his pocket money and pay the next big event, and he committed to go to the view from the edge, then he's one step forward to start taking action. For him to join, it was easy. When I'm asking him that you need to get to the plane and fly to Nice, France, to watch the next training and pay some more money, then he's getting into the action mode. He's getting out of the thinking mode, do I have to do this? When he's booked the next event, he's getting into the action mode. I have to do this. I have to find a way to make my money back. So I'm asking him to book the next training event. And the third thing, again, I'm sending invitations to him. I'm saying, man, look, you have those 20 people. I will come to your city. The day you don't have a guest in front of me, I'm gone. I'm gonna go back to my city. You need to show to them that you will be there, but you are not depending to them. They don't have to feel like, okay, it's here, let him. How many times it happens to you guys to go to a new team, to a new city, and nobody invites somebody? Because you show to them that you need them. Personally, when I'm going to a new city, I'm setting the time limitation. The number 2 thing I'm doing, I'm prospecting in front of them. It happened to me when I went to Australia. That was, I think, the second time I went to Australia. That was back in 2014. I was with a member of the team in the train. And when we are driving to the travel party, on the way to the travel party, there was a guy sitting next to me that he was Greek. So he was speaking on phone and I was listening to him. When he was done with the phone call, I started talking to him. I started communicating with him. And he said to me, what are you doing here? And during the conversation, he realized that I was doing World Venture. So the guy goes like, I know this thing. It's a travel thing. They told me about it in Greece. And I said, cool. And he goes like, look, man, I don't want to do it now. It's sold. I want to be the first one. And I said, man, we just started in Australia. You can be the first one. So fast forward, he was negative. He became negative and we have done nothing. And before we left the train, I'm going to him and say, look, man, I'm glad I have met you and I can guarantee you one thing. In the real future, you will call me, you will be part of the team. Because I'm telling you what's going to happen here. 2 years later, I receive a call. And the guy goes, do you remember me? I said, no, who you are? He goes like, you talked to me about this company in the train. Now I'm in your team. So, but the teaching point here is not the pitching that I have done to this person. The most important thing is that I prove to the person next to me that I'm not waiting for him to build a team. I'm gonna build the team anyway. So you're going to the cafeterias with your member you have. What you have to do is to start talking to people. Just saying to people things to start pitching so they can see people do what you do, not what you say. You are going to a new market and you are asking them to invite people and you are there and you do nothing. If you are a pro, your number 1 thing, if you are a pro networker, is to never stop inviting people. That's the number 1 thing that the pro networker does, never stop inviting people. Sachin yesterday talked about 700 personals, and he said, I'm gonna go back home and do another 10, 20. He's a pro, he knows the game. He plants more seeds, he gets more things. So that was the thing that we have done we are doing when you're going to a new market. Now, the question is, how many times I have been to a new cities trying to build a new teams? Honestly, I don't remember. I cannot count anymore the times that I have been in cities, tried to build a new team. Sometimes something happened, sometimes never happened. That was in 2015, I think. I had a guy that contacted me on Instagram. So I explained him the concept, he jumped in, and the guy was from France. We started working with him online, so I started Build to Go. We created a team of something like 15 people in this city. That was, if I'm not mistaken, Strasbourg. And we started developing the team in this city. So I flew there for a Super Saturday training. That was actually a fast start training, and that was my worst experience ever in my life. I went there in a fast start training that usually goes 1 hour. It went like 4 hours and a half. It was translating word by word to French. Anyway, when I was going to France, I was talking, at that time we had the team in Germany. And I was talking to the German guys, and they go like, George, if you're coming to Strasbourg, it's like 3 hours drive, and we will come there. I said, cool, guys, just come. It's good to meet your new members. So they came like four people. So 4 people from Germany, they drove to Strasbourg. They joined the training. I got to introduce to a few of them. Fast forward, the training finished. I went to a dinner with all of them. 2 weeks later, the whole guys from the French team, they quit it. Nobody stayed in. So it was a try, it didn't work, they left. But guess what happened? That day, at this training, the guy who came, that joined the Friday before the training from Germany, was Philip Tavares. That the guy went back home, took a decision to build more ventures in Germany, boom, and in 2 years he hit RMD, and now he has a team of over 3,000 people in Germany. So you always connect the dots looking backwards. You will have some fail moments, but the reality, you didn't fail. You learned something. You took something that showed up later. Honestly, I'm afraid of having a new person in the binary from a new country or a new city and not moving there anymore. Because I don't know who's gonna show up. I don't know who's gonna be the next guy that it will be appear that he will know someone who knows someone who knows someone from another country, and that's how we will then start keep going. Now, we started creating this mindset in the whole team since the beginning, working local, thinking global. We knew that if we want to create a huge team, we need to start expanding into new markets. It was a time that from Cyprus, we had people flying to Malaysia when Malaysia opened. I remember we had people taking one flight ticket and flying to Australia without a contact. I mean, we have today active in Australia and Oceania, more than 25,000 people in the system. Do you know how that happened? I knew someone who knew someone, who knew someone, who knew someone, who knew someone in Cyprus, and this guy, his father, like 65 years old guy, had a person that he was studying together in Greece that he moved to Australia to become a bus driver. We signed up the bus driver, 65 years old, and from this guy, we got the team in Australia. That he was the connection. We got the team in Australia with over 25,000 people. So you never know who knows who knows who. All you need to do is just to think global in order to expand your team. Now, I found out that there are few criteria, few common things that those people had. All those people who expanded the team outside of the country, they had few common things. Number one, they had business ownership mindset. They were treating this business like it's their business. Many people are asking me, what's the biggest catch in network marketing? I can tell you that the biggest catch in network marketing is that the startup cost is so low. In our case right now, it's $150, and your mind cannot accept that with $150, you can make millions. As a result, you don't treat this like a real business. I want you to have the mindset of $100,000 business. And when you have the $100,000 business, that you are ready to carry responsibilities, to take this business like your own business. It always comes to the same analogy I'm saying all the time about the business owner mindset. You are the customer and you're going to a restaurant. And while you are eating, you are finding a hair, eat to the plate. What are you doing? You start shouting, right? You start arguing. And then the waiter is coming to you. And you say, you know what, I found this hair in the plate, blah, 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 blah. And the goes like, okay, I will see what I can do. That's the response, the reaction of the waiter. Then if the owner of the restaurant comes to you, what's gonna be the response? The same with the waiter? Of course not, because that's his own business. He invested hundreds of thousands to open this restaurant. That's what mindset I want you to have. The business owner mindset. You're going to a new country, you are about to build a new team, you are depending on you. You are not depending on your upline, you are depending on the company. You need to have this business owner mindset. We have in the room one of the top members of the team. Where is Vaitiare? Vaitiare? She's somewhere here. She's right now one of the top members of the team. IMD goes all the way to double IMD right now. This lady started the team in an island that I had no idea that exists. So she started the team in this country and I couldn't speak French. I couldn't explain her anything. We didn't have tools in French, but she had this business IQ, business ownership mentality. She said, there is nothing, cool, here it's an opportunity. I have to create the system, I have to create the tools and give them to my team. And that's why she's where she is today. She had this business ownership mindset. Number two, understand that the system is bigger than you. Most of you, when you're going to a new countries, to a new teams, you're trying to take control of everything. You want to be the one-man show. If you do this, they will always depending on you. When I'm going to a new market, the way I'm building the team is thinking that in 2 years from today, I'm not gonna be here. They will take action and do everything by themselves, and they will repeat the same things to another countries. So a real leader knows when to step up, but the real leader knows when to step back and let other people do things. And that's the thing, you need to start using the system. When I'm going to a new cities, I'm giving them tools, I'm giving them the advantage, so they will go into the advantage system and listening to audios. I'm promoting the trainings, I'm promoting other leaders. When you're going to a new city, at some time you need to leave. If you don't promote, if you don't edify, the next trainer will go there. If you don't edify, promote, the next leader will go there. They will depending on you. So you need to start using the system and understanding that the system is way bigger than you. Number three, be patient. Some of you believe that you will go one time in a new city, you found 3 people, and those 3 people, they will do everything and they will become an IMD. It's impossible. We have people like here in this room, like Kostas, okay? Kostas Kordakis, marketing director from Greece. This guy, I don't know how many times he went to Germany in order to start having the German team. I mean, how many times? You don't even know. So the guy, he went so many times into Germany, it was easy for him to quit. It was easy to say, you know what, in Germany it doesn't work. I hate this. You know what, in this country it doesn't work, in this country it doesn't work. And then 2 years later, somebody appears and say, you know what, it works. In Cyprus, we have so many Russians. And we're always trying to get some Russians in the system. And we had people that they say, no, in Russia it's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. I remember the flag of Russia in the system, like since the day when I joined. Everyone was saying, no, in Russia it's not gonna work. Then someone like Anya, like Ilya appeared in the system, and they said, you know what, we're gonna make it work. There are thousands of people today. So, but you need to be patient, you need to understand that it's not gonna happen into a day. Maybe you need to go back and back again and back again. I went to Australia, Frosini was in Australia. I mean, I went to Australia, I don't know how many times. I will share later on some stories that happened when I was in Australia, and it was so easy for me to say, you know what, it doesn't work. Let's stop, let's try another country. But I couldn't believe that I would say, it doesn't work, leave, and a few years later I will see somebody else having a massive team there. So you need to be patient. Now, number 4, hungry. Those people who moved to another country, sometimes they didn't have even money to live in those countries. I know so many stories of people that they went into really bad situations, but they had this desire, they had this hunger for something more, and they just moved there. I usually say that hungry is not enough. You need to starve. Because when you starve, you're doing everything to survive. And then you're becoming more smart. You're finding more new ideas. You have next to you somebody, and you're afraid not to speak to him because maybe he will be the next IMD. You need to start creating this hungry mindset. I was watching in the plane on the way here yesterday, American show on Netflix. It calls My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. And the guest was Lewis Hamilton. I don't know, guys, if you're familiar with Formula One, but he's considering right now as the best driver in Formula One. Now, this guy won the last 5 years, 5 championships, okay? And the interviewer asked him, so we consider like the best driver ever in the history of Formula One is Michael Schumacher, and he won 7 championships. What you have to say? And Lewis Hamilton goes like, you know what, Michael Schumacher retired at 38, and I'm 33, so I have 5 more years to beat him, and I'm not willing to stop. And then he goes like, I worked so hard, and I have so big goals and so big dreams that I feel like I'm squandering what I have done over the years if I stop pushing more. I mean, the guy right now, he has a contract of over 50 million euros per year. He can stop right now. And his sport is one of the most dangerous sports. I mean, one mistake can cost his life. And he's there. What's behind him? What's in his mind? Starve. Starve for more. Because most of us, when you start making money, we're getting comfortable. One of my favorite quotes goes like, don't let the 100,000s let you away from making millions. And that's what's happening most of the times. You go, you hit director, you start making money, and you stop being hungry. That's what you wanted? Just $2,000, $3,000 a month? $5,000 a month? That's what your dreams? That's what your limits? You need to start being more hungry. Those people who travel to a new country, they have this hunger, desire inside them. Now, the last few months, I changed. When I'm flying, I'm always asking for a window seat in the airplane. And there is a reason. I love when we're flying above the cities, above the countries, and see all those houses. I mean, I remember I went to Russia in January, and it was like for 30 minutes, we flew from city to city, from city to city. And I saw how big the population is. And I'm always asking myself, what the F? All those people, they don't know what we have in our hands. And all those people, they want to travel the way we travel. And all those people, they are looking for something. They are looking to create an extra income. I'm ready to go out and eat them. Honestly, when I'm flying, I'm just looking at the houses and I say, wow, that's unlimited potential. And you have all those people around you in your cities, in your countries, in other countries, and all you do is waiting for them to come and see you. I'm telling you guys, if you don't go and speak to them, we're gonna go and speak to them. And I prefer having them in my team. You need to start to becoming more hungry. We are playing right now, in my mind, in ground zero in Europe. We are about to explode Europe. This competition that we announced yesterday between Europe and Africa is not just between Europe and Africa. It's between Europe and Europe. Our biggest opponent is not Africa, if I can say opponent. Our biggest opponent is our previous results. If we broke some records in December, in January, in February, why not to do it again? Why not to go outside tomorrow and start building a bigger teams and start expanding the team from city to city, and start expanding the team from country to country? And what if we come to the next event and it's gonna be sold out? And what if we have in the stage people from different countries holding different flags and say the story, you know what? I saw this opportunity in July and today I'm director. And I was the pioneer in my country. And I did that because someone took the decision to go out tomorrow and make things happen. I will see you later, guys. Thank you so much.